With just 2.5 weeks until the election, the polls don't look good for Donald Trump. So what happens if he loses? One possibility is that he's getting a lot of buzz lately. Maybe Trump will launch his own news network. In fact, he might have done it already. Adam Riley has more.
Before the final presidential debate, Donald Trump urged his supporters to watch the event differently, writing on Facebook, "If you're tired of biased mainstream media reporting, otherwise known as Crooked Hillary's super PAC, tune into my Facebook Live broadcast. If you did, you saw this."
You can come here and hear it straight from us.
Before and after the debate, two Trump loyalists and a bevy of pro-Trump guests offered commentary and analysis and concluded that Trump won big.
He prosecuted the case against Hillary Clinton perfectly.
While the production values weren't great, they could improve. Because according to the Financial Times, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has approached a well-known media investor about launching a Trump-led news network after the election.
After November, where are those people going to go? I mean, they are there and they need to be fed.
If that happens, Wednesday's broadcast might go down in history as the soft launch of Trump TV.
Your first time this campaign has done this?
If you're surprised, you shouldn't be. Back in June, Vanity Fair said Trump was thinking about creating his own news brand. And with Fox News in disarray, Trump might be able to poach a star, like, say, Sean Hannity.
You know how many times we had conversations about that?
Of course, it's still possible Donald Trump will win. Whether that would rule out Trump TV is anybody's guess.
Well, I'm just going to say he's going to have to do something really creative and different the way Fox did when they first got going, because just copying that isn't going to work, and pulling in a few news stars. I mean, one of the speculations is that he will do this online only. I mean, that Facebook hit, Josh, got 8 million hits the first night. Now, that it was free and it was something kind of different, and people, it was terrible. I mean, it was terrible quality, but it's got to be something that's really different.
I think that having an actual cable news network is a no-go. That takes hundreds of millions of dollars of capital. I don't see any. One thing about the Financial Times story is that the investor who was approached said, "No, thank you. I'd rather not invest in this." Right? Going digital only is a possibility. I'm going on the model of what Glenn Beck did with The Blaze. But The Blaze has not been doing well. They've laid off half their staff. And while Trump would come into it with a larger potential audience, I don't think it's an obvious go. And frankly, I don't think he has the investment capital or the sort of business stamina to want to build something over a long period of time.
You know, Trump draws a big audience now because he is entertaining. You know, among many other things, he is entertaining, and you kind of, it's like watching a train wreck. You've got to see what's going on, which I think was part of why people tuned into Trump TV. Long term, his brand is seriously damaged. The guy who was kind of like your weird pet uncle on The Apprentice is now, you know, persona non grata to a lot of America. And I can't imagine a large audience tuning in, even if it's a digital-only property, to a level that it could be sustainable.
There was a story this week that talking about his brand and how his business brand, at least, is not shining the way, if in fact you believe it was shining on point, that it's not shining like that now. But I do agree that the reason that Donald Trump is able to get the kind of following that he does have is because it's Donald Trump, not somebody else out there speaking on behalf of Donald Trump. And so if he's going to be in front of the camera all the time talking about who, you know, if he loses and he's, you know, doing the daily monologue about Hillary Clinton, that's something that I'm sure would get a spike. But the minute that he starts pulling back and isn't part of, such a network, I don't think people would tune in.
I think that as long as he's part of this venture and he's on camera, as you say, Dan, I think he's got a sizable number of fans who will keep watching. The problem is, as both you and Joanna have pointed out, the brand is severely tarnished, not with his followers, but with advertisers. And so I think that maybe the only revenue stream he can really pursue is getting subscribers to cough up, because I don't think advertisers are going to want to get anywhere near this, quite frankly.
I think that's right, and I think that puts a cap on what he can do. He cannot pay Sean Hannity's salary at that kind of scale. Like, it would have to be a smaller scale, you know, kind of low rent operation. So Facebook Live makes a lot of sense.
And Sean might get a piece of the company, that network. That's how he'll pay him.
He deserves it.
Absolutely.
Gosh.
Services rendered.
Yes, services rendered.